Always a classic.
Yes.
Always a classic. All right, so now we're live.
Okay,
And please,
there
for
we
the
go.
love of God, be careful with that headstock. All right, we are live in front of the Blue Island Beer Company in scenic Blue Island. That right there is Tall Doug from the Ridgelands. That's Alan
I'm not even looking.
from
I'm
Blue
not
Island
looking.
Brewery right there. And this podcast, Con Carne, which we're doing on Facebook Live now as we speak, is presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. This car we're in, the spacious, lovely Mazda, is from the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, which is perhaps a far drive from Blue Island, but well worth it.
Might be. I don't know what that is.
Evanston? You
Oh,
should
yeah,
come.
that's far.
I'll take you there. Oh, you'll love it there. I'll take you to the
Will I?
Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. We'll have a great time.
All right.
It's Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van
All right, so here's what's going on. We've got tacos from Blue Island. Alan here is like the unofficial mayor of Blue Island, and he is leading the charge to bring Blue Island tacos to the rest of the world. We're going to sample Blue Island tacos. But first, that guy right there, are you ready to play in the car, Tall Doug?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Spacious car.
It is.
These
That's what I'm saying.
Mazdas.
That's what I'm saying.
Got a lot of room. Sit down, play guitar if you need to. You know.
That's right.
Not
All right,
cramped.
so that's Tall Doug. He is from, as I mentioned, a band called the Ridgelands, who we love. Fine skate punk. Is skate punk fair to say?
We skateboard. We play punk rock. I don't like the skate punk thing, but if people
Talking to
want
Mike.
to say skate punk, you can.
I want to say skate punk. No, well,
Do
here's how the Ridgelands describe themselves. Ever wonder what it would be like if the Ninja Turtles drank and sort of played instruments instead of fighting crime? Yeah? Well, then we're your band. We're the Ridgelands.
Yeah.
That I love a good bio.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I don't know.
All right, so
we must have. I don't know what we were drinking when we wrote that, but
I can't even imagine. Perhaps absinthe.
hey, I just had that for the first time
Did
the
you?
other day. Yeah.
Little wormwood?
Tastes like licorice.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was nice.
Pat Gleason, who's watching on Facebook Live, says back in my neck of the woods.
Patty G.
Yeah, can't keep me away from the South Side, bro. All right, so that's Tall Doug. Before we eat tacos, before Alan shares Blue Island lore from the back seat and talks about Blue Island Beer Company, you, Tall Doug, are going to play. And this is a new song, right?
Yeah, it's off of my
Talk to the microphone.
it's off my solo album.
Off your solo album. When do we get that solo album?
Hopefully soon. We're working on it right now. We're finishing up all the little bells and whistles and things like that. And so hopefully before summer. That'd be nice.
All right, so this is Die With My Friends,
Yeah.
as heard on Demo 312 on 101 WKQX.
All right.
All right.
Should we do it?
We,
Do we do it?
I'm not doing
We're doing
anything.
it live.
Do it live.
We're doing it live.
I'm not doing anything. We're just
All
watching
right.
you. All right, this is Tall Doug live in a Mazda in Blue Island, outside the Blue Island Beer Company. Tall Doug of the Ridgelands. I'm going to tilt this away before you start playing. So it's
we go.
really, it's all about you, dude.
Hey, well,
Here we go.
all right.
Said you can't dance under the city light. They don't want you having any sort of fun. They said you can't drink here inside the parking lot. Well, this is my van and these are my friends. We'll do whatever we want. When we were younger, they said we could be anything. Looks like they had turned their backs. There's nothing better than good company. Sometimes friendship's the only thing that makes sense. Well, I wanna die with my friends. I wanna laugh, I wanna have a good time with them. die with my friends. I wanna die with my friends. I wanna die with my friends. I wanna die with my friends.
Yeah.
Woo! I'm sweating my balls
I
off.
know. We got some
shit.
fog going on in the car here.
Yeah, messed up a little bit.
Oh my God! No, you didn't
guys
mess up.
will like it, I think.
It's genuine. It's authentic. It's
Yeah.
raw. It's real.
It's in a car.
It's in a car. God bless America. Tall Doug. Die with My Friends, a song that Tall Doug wrote about a suicide pact he made with his friends.
Well, playing music, going in a van.
I guess that kind of is.
Yeah.
If not metaphorically.
In a van that, barely worked before we left the driveway.
Uh-huh. You're working up a sweat. I mean, you're not messing around. You were playing to win.
You can't trust a band that doesn't sweat.
I agree with that. Okay. So here's the thing. We've got tacos. Alan's in the back seat with tacos. Alan was watching on Facebook Live. He actually had the best seat in the house, and he's watching on Facebook Live.
Well, I was sharing it to make sure people saw
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
the exhibition of awesomeness that is Doug.
Oh.
It was an exhibition of awesomeness. So here's the question, Doug. Do you want to relocate the guitar as Alan and I tap dance?
I would love that.
That way you can eat better, you can talk on microphone
We're gonna
better.
put it back there. Whoop.
Or do you want to walk it inside Blue Island?
Well, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Put it between your legs and just let it hit
All
your
right,
mouth.
fine. I can't fit it between
Oh,
my legs.
yeah.
My legs are already. Just put it back there.
Not a lot of room back
Yeah,
there.
Slide it back there.
Okay.
There we go.
I moved that microphone.
All right.
Now we're in business. All right, so we're going to bounce around between Tall Doug and Alan in the back seats. Since Alan has been sitting quietly for the past 5 minutes, Alan, tell us a little bit where we are. We are at the Blue Island Beer Company. This is a place that you own. Tell us some history.
So, James, thank you very much for coming all the way down here to the south side from your North Shore residency.
It's not North Shore.
All right, well,
over
North
there.
Shore implies like John Hughes movie-style homes.
you're
Trust
absolutely
me.
right. You know, Skokie doesn't have those homes. You're correct.
Exactly.
So we're here on historic Old Western Avenue here in Blue Island. We're just south of Chicago. It's a town that's been around as long as Chicago, if not a little bit longer. Trains everywhere. Absolutely impossible to get around sometimes. We've been making great beer here. The brewmaster and partner of mine, Brian Shimkos, is kicking ass with some really high-quality beer. We have tons of art, music, and just a great culture that we're doing here on the south side up and down Old Western Avenue.
So before we jumped in the car, we kind of delayed our beginning of the recording because you have a trivia night going on. And I thought, oh, this is great. I've never done bar trivia before. Let's do bar trivia. I bet I'm good at it.
It was tough.
We were smoked out of the gate.
were.
The first category was
We didn't
about
stand a chance.
not a chance. The first question was about Abraham, or first category was about Abraham Lincoln. It was Lincoln trivia. What political party was Abraham Lincoln part of before he was a Republican? Beats the piss out of me. That was
knows?
question number one.
It's
Right
really
off the
really
gate.
tough when you don't have your phone to search those answers.
Yeah.
Not supposed to, at least.
I knew what number president he was, 16.
Yeah.
Good
we
good
knew
president
that one.
right there, yeah.
I didn't know the name of the play he was watching when John Wilkes Booth shot him. That was another question.
I suggested Porgy and Bess.
I don't think that was right. I think
That was
that would have
not
been
it.
anachronistic.
That wasn't it.
So trivia night's going on right now. I thought, well, maybe they'll do like a 90s music category. That didn't happen while
They're
we were there.
probably doing that right now.
now.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was actually love songs from the 90s, so we would have probably swept that round.
Yeah, I feel like
It being
we would've done
Valentine's
pretty
week as we
well.
recorded would make sense. Steve Tello, or is it Teo? Tello on Facebook Live says, saw you play, Tall Doug, for the
Oh.
first time about 2 weeks ago. At where?
At Blue Island Beer Company. He was here
hello,
with a bunch
Steve.
of buddies. Steve, it's good to see you.
You were great. Everyone, I'm assuming that's everyone I was with there really liked your music.
I'm
That's
putting
awesome.
my face
Yeah.
in the camera. That's not good.
You're a handsome
I'm
dude.
sorry. I apologize, everybody.
I can actually vouch for his group. They did enjoy Tall Doug's music. I mean, it might have been the beer. They had their back to him most of the time when he was playing, but it was they applaud when people else applaud. So
And there's a lot of music stuff going on here. I mean, you've got the Boll Weevils playing here. You've got
Yeah.
Tall Doug. You've got
March 22nd.
who is it from Alistair?
Tim Rogner.
Jeez,
I mean, they're celebrating 20 years. It's hard to believe. 20 years since that band came around.
Yeah.
So there's
what year
legit
is it?
music stuff going on here. I mean, this is you got a lot happening here at Blue Island Beer Company, And you've got, what, 10 beers on tap right now?
10 beers on tap right now.
Is that consistent, like whenever we come in?
Always consistent. 3 different flagship beers, bunch of barrel-aged beers, house-made sodas. We can make shandies with those sodas. Just a really comfortable, warm atmosphere. And
I love the vibe here.
Great,
I told
great
you
beer
that. I love the vibe
experience.
here.
And, some of the art and entertainment that you want to see, too. That's not driving to the city for a lot of people. It's hard to do nowadays. Us older folks have kids or just a longer daytime job.
57
to
to the Ryan can be drudgery.
Yeah.
So just stay put. Stay in Blue Island.
Stay on the south side.
It rains
side.
ice over here, so
What's that?
it rains ice in this city. It's hard to get anywhere.
Rains, ice, yeah. All right, so
We ready to try some tacos?
So, Alan, when you first contacted me, you said, I think it would be cool if you came out and we did a taco crawl in Blue Island. I was intrigued. You are like the spokesperson for Blue Island culture and food and nightlife. You weren't content to just bring in one type of taco in the car. You brought in warring taco restaurants' foods.
We have a taco duel right now with 2 that are on the corner here on Old Western and Broadway. Everybody's been asking for it. We're making it happen in person, live on. We're doing it live on Con Carne, and we couldn't think of 2 better taco places and 2 different tacos. So we have Esparza's on the southeast corner of Broadway and Old Western, and we have their Zacatecana taco, steak, chorizo, and bacon together at last.
Sold. Sold.
All right, let's do this.
So you obviously have a preference. I mean, you guys are both from here. I'm sure you have your...
I moved here. I'm from Oaklawn.
In fact, the first time I met Tall Doug... Oh, this is so filthy and messy and greasy. First time I met Tall Doug, he cameoed on Con Carne.
A little bit.
I was interviewing Black Bear Rodeo in Oaklawn outside Grisano's. And suddenly the Ridgelands showed up. And who else showed up? Was it Criminal Kids?
It
who
was
showed up?
me and Ryan from the Criminal Kids.
Yeah, that's it.
You ready for this? It is a little bit messy, so make sure you're...
Are there napkins?
I do have...
Are you holding them back as some sort of
wearing
cruel
them.
prank?
You're wearing the napkins. You used your legs.
There you go.
Thank you.
There you go.
Here, Tall Doug, have some napkins.
Fine.
I mean, at least it's leather back here.
All right, so this is the bacon and...
Bacon, steak, and chorizo. All nice and together. And at the best.
Mm-hmm. Little bit of heat, not a lot.
I like it.
I like it too.
You got a Pepsi back there?
Pepsi?
Alan.
Oh,
Alan.
hold on. We didn't think about drinks.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing. We're outside Blue Island Beer Company. Can't bring beer in the car.
They don't want you drinking out in the parking lot, bro.
No, like Doug and his friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Started a whole
It's a
career based
rule
on
I've
that
broken
concept.
once or twice.
I think this is pretty good. It's greasy as hell.
Well, chorizo and bacon
Mm-hmm.
by themselves are pretty greasy. So, but add that steak to it, boy.
So, Alan, I mean, we've talked about this. Blue Island, we're talking about the food. Blue Island is this really interesting, this old town, this old city. It's got a cool look to it. It's got Blue Island Beer Company right here. What do people need to know about Blue Island? Why should they come out here?
Well, we're cheaper than Chicago.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're just right across the border. We're highway adjacent. You got I-57, just 15
5 minutes.
minutes from the loop. So just outside the loop.
Unless you're going during rush hour.
Well, there's that, but
Uh-huh. That was 90 minutes today.
That sucks.
There's also a stalled car and...
multiple highways and
Mm-hmm.
we have that, but it's great because it's just a really cool working class community, kind of creating all this culture themselves, and everybody enjoying each other's time and presence.
Mm-hmm.
And we see it here often with the eclectic events we do and the different styles of music from DJs like Victor Montañez, who's an artist from Chicago, and
Is he the one who did the...
he did the cool art you see on the wall.
So we're sitting there during trivia night, and I just happened to look. There are these luchador paintings on the wall, which I thought were so cool, and I asked Alan about them. So that's the artist. Really cool.
That's right. It's a really good friend, Victor Montañez. He's also a DJ. Known them for 20-some odd years. Bringing that culture down. We have bluegrass. First Wednesdays of the month. First Fridays of the month.
Oh, you got green sauce back there?
Oh, I was trying to put in his natural habitat.
Yeah, well, your first 2 bites.
But so you do bluegrass. I guess my question to you, because this feels a little anomalous, what you do out here, how's it received? I mean, do you
Most of our events kind of have their own audiences that look forward to it coming around, and I don't expect those people to be here every day of the week. So just to find the right time for them to come and frequent their schedule has been really helpful and encouraging to a lot of the different players to have a spot to do their thing. Do metal, the bands like the Pale Horsemen, Deep Space Pilots, Bolton and Toe.
You do metal out here?
We do metal in the back warehouse where some of our shows are happening.
And we got the
there's
tour.
A whole other space.
I've seen that warehouse.
Yeah.
It's badass.
That's where the Boll Weevil show on March 22nd is going to be.
I was going to say, Daryl Wilson cannot be contained on this stage. By the
No,
front
that's
door.
just the front stage. There's a whole other room. And just to make it even more fun, we have a model car show on February 23rd that's being sponsored and hosted by the Roman Chariots Car Club down here. They do a lot of great work for Blue Cap, which is a educational facility over here, and a lot of charity work. And some of the different art shows that we've done have just been so neat to see local artists get a chance to single-handedly sell their art to customers, and just making a really organic cultural epicenter down here.
As we are at kind of the midway point here, I do want to remind you, Con Carne, presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. We are in a Mazda as we speak and as we record. That taco is really good. All right, so where was that from again?
That's from Esparza's Tacos.
Esparza's.
Right here on the corner of Broadway and Old Western. And this is going to be coming from the northeast corner, a little spot called Mario's that has a rich tradition here in Blue Island. And a lot of people who once lived here come back for the food all the time. We're very lucky that they come and stop at multiple locations up and down Old Western Avenue here to have drinks and beers with us, have food at the different restaurants.
And you can bring food into the brewery,
Yeah,
right?
we're BYOF. We do a lot of work with our friends Natural Law right across the street, a great craft cocktail and eatery. And they got burgers and chicken sandwiches and stuff like that. But tonight we're focusing on the tacos that made Blue Island famous. And we have now Mario's Tacos.
Mario's. Okay. Now, tell Doug, have you had both these places tacos
I haven't
before?
had Mario's.
It's going to be a little messier.
A little messier.
No. I mean, just be prepared for some messes. Right, get that one down.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to give you the plate, James.
Oh, you're so nice.
Yeah.
So here's what we're looking at.
So this is a nice traditional ground beef taco,
There
lettuce
we
and
go.
tomato and cheese.
This is more of the American taco with the lettuce and tomato as opposed to...
And
you know,
And not hard shell.
Not
Hard shell
hard
tacos are garbage. I had a whole thing on Facebook. Everybody was arguing. Let me see some of that red sauce, please. Oh, Jesus.
So, Alan, I guess the question is, because the vibe at Blue Island Beer Company is really cool, you've got music, you've got a lot of stuff going on, is there a plan to bring food into the tap room?
No plans at this time. It's really nice that we got spots right down the street, right across the street, that are really making some good options that I have. It's like having a kitchen that already makes 4 different menus, all within walking distance and delivery. There's pizza right around the corner, and we got just about everything. There's even a sushi restaurant that delivers us right up the road. So we're pretty fortunate down here.
One thing I noticed driving through here, nary a chain restaurant in sight. It's all independent mom and pop stuff over here.
There's
Which
a
is cool.
hardware store down the street that's like
109 years old. or something.
109 years old.
Possibly. Actually, probably since Abraham Lincoln was president.
All right. Alan, I know you have your opinion. I'm going to weigh in with mine. First taco was a million times better.
I can see your perspective on that.
You don't agree?
I do agree. I'm just trying to be diplomatic of the great restaurants we have up and down Old Western Avenue here in Blue Island. So
It was not bad. Where the fuck did you get a plate? I'm sitting over here with like a napkin in my hand, trying
I was,
to not make a mess.
trying to make sure that James didn't get it all over his leather seats. I don't think this car's rented, so I don't think he wants us to make a mess.
This car's been through a lot, but thank you.
Yeah,
for your
who made the
concern.
biggest mess in his car?
Hard to say. Everyone's been pretty
Respectful?
good. Yeah. I mean, no one's been obnoxious about it. Any accident has been a legitimate accident, and it hasn't been catastrophic. I also don't bring things like gumbo into the car or,
Jambalaya.
yeah, anything Cajun. Simeon Sam Meyer says, "Damn, Doug, slow down. I think you're eating at a... Keep it,
I
Doug,
eat fast. I
and
don't
also,
know.
Doug doesn't have a plate, so there is incentive for him to kind of eat quickly, because the quicker he eats, the less risk he poses to his handsome pants."
And it's still
These
growing.
things are dirty as hell.
Just got to put them in the freezer.
Yep. Alan, people are leaving your establishment. What are you going to do about that?
The sitter's got to go.
I have ground beef all over my shirt now. So tell Doug,
Yeah.
you've got the solo thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Ridgelands are still cool, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is just a way for you to kind of...
These are songs that aren't... Oh, yeah, sorry. These are songs that aren't
How does a lead singer
necessarily,
not know to talk on a microphone?
Because I'm talking to you. And you got like 9 microphones. How
All
is
right.
none of this getting picked up? No, yeah, these are just like songs that I didn't necessarily think were Ridgeland songs. They're kind of slower. Like, sadder, I guess. Slow it down and all that. But, right, we use some of them, and then some of them we use for Ridgeland stuff. And fortunately, I have enough for a solo album. I don't know. That's going to be weird, but you guys will get it sometime.
I think Anti-Hero by Ridgelands was... I wouldn't say it was one of the first songs I played when I started doing Demo 312.
That's the one, right?
But I'd say within the first couple of months of me doing this show, that was something I played.
Yeah.
We go way back.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
That's
three,
what.
it was like 3 years
all
ago.
over the place. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I thought I sent you the new EP that we've done, Third Time's a Harm, but apparently I did not.
You did not.
Or maybe you lost it.
Well, I see what you did there with the title.
What's that?
The third time's a harm.
Yeah, you like that?
Brilliant.
Say play on words or something like that.
Oh.
I'm a mess.
Oh, yeah, me too. I'm trying to be...
It was more than
trying to keep it together as we're on camera. But third time's the harm. There are some songs in there that perhaps are not okay for radio.
Yeah,
Concrete Shoes, not okay for radio. But I love
it's a good song, though.
It's a great song. Big fat riffs on that one.
Yeah,
I love that.
let me grab one of these. Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Brett says Doug's afraid of Oakland gumbo. That's an inside joke, obviously.
Oh man, that's a good one though.
And Danielle says he eats like that with a plate.
Oh, it's my girlfriend. All right, everybody relax. I'm trying to get this down so I can talk and figure out what's
If
going
you
on.
can keep ripping on Doug, this would be great.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I would enjoy that, Alan. That'd be great.
So obviously Hispanic culture is a big part of Blue Island. We just had tacos from 2 different places. What other kind of food exists on the scene here? Or is it really predominantly Hispanic?
Well, there's a great Cajun restaurant in town, speaking of gumbo
Oh,
and
Maple Tree
jambalaya,
Inn.
the Maple Tree Inn.
Yeah.
Is that back open for business?
They have a nice,
Pop-
smaller location, the Maple Tree and Bistro. That's on Uptown Western and York Street. Same great menu, great staff and service. Bartenders making awesome cocktails. You got to see Emily and the rest of the staff up there. They absolutely kill it.
I mean,
still.
Maple Tree Inn is like the
And
quintessential Cajun restaurant.
They're one of the top 50 in the country.
Mhm.
They're an anchor on our street. Amazing owners. Just really a gem to have down here. Is a really shame what happened and with the fire and
And for those-
just
yeah, for those who
looking
don't know, there's
forward
a
to
fire
them
there.
rebuilding and just that they continued on as fast as they did afterwards to just make sure people still had their food, which is still amazing.
My first time there was probably 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It's still the same, and it was world-class cuisine. They absolutely
truly
kill it.
world class. All right, so as we're kind of winding down and the tacos are slowly digesting, let's do a quick recap. You are Tall Doug of the Ridgelands.
Yes, I am.
If people
Hello.
want to hear you as a solo artist and you as a Ridgeland, where can they go?
Just go to Instagram or Facebook at the Ridgelands or at Tall Doug. You'll find, I mean, I have the musical Tall Doug, and then I have my
The Tall
personal profile, though, I guess we'll say. I don't know. Screw the internet. Yeah, just at Tall Doug or at the Ridgelands.
And then you're playing here.
Yeah, March 22nd,
Blue
I'll
Island
be
Beer
playing
Company.
with the Ridgelands, and what is it, March 30th?
Yeah, March
the
30th.
Railway
as well.
Gamblers?
Yeah, Railway Gamblers as well.
Yeah, that'll be
Other good
my
friends of ours.
solo act with the Gamblers.
Where you can hear songs like Die With My Friends as performed in a Mazda.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Alan, people can come to Blue Island Beer Company, the tap room, when?
Tap room's open Wednesday through Friday from 4 to 10, Saturday 12 to 10, Sunday 12 to 6.
Is it just nuts here on the weekend?
It can be. It sure can. And then Sundays are a great day to have a good craft beer experience with our bartenders, tasting through flights, and the wide variety of beers that we make. They're very traditional to their styles.
I wanted to ask you, I know this about the local music community, but as far as the craft beer community goes, is it tight-knit? Is it...
Down here on the south side is very tight-knit. That's our buddies like 350, Open Outcry, Horse Thief Hollow, Hailstorm. Everybody
You all know
in this
each other.
area, we all know each other and call each other for favors and ingredients and stuff to make sure we can get through our days. And it's been really cool just to watch the people that travel from brewery to brewery on a Saturday and just enjoying the culture of it all for sure.
And that's something I think people fail to realize. It's a cliche, but that rising tide rises all
the ships,
yeah. Whatever that cliche is, I think it's true. If one of you does well, it benefits all the craft brewers in the area.
Yeah,
Everybody wins.
And especially when you're making quality products, everybody recognizes it, and they're very supportive of that. So,
I love what you're doing. Love the beers you're brewing here. Love the music you're making. I love you guys.
Hey,
we love
I
you,
had
James.
a fantastic
It's been a
time.
long time coming. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You guys invited me. I need to spend more time out here. Thank you.
Well,
for
you
doing
obviously had nothing to do on a Wednesday night, so.
No, I've been looking forward to this for. When did we start talking about this, Alan? Like a month ago?
Yeah, a month ago or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this. So, we're going to go back inside Blue Island Beer Company because
The
it's
beer's
the
in
Blue
there.
Island. Yeah, it's the Blue Island Beer Company. We'll
And
see
Alan
you
forgot
perform
the
live.
drinks. The fuck, man.
I actually listened to the Johnny Law over here saying no
Johnny
beer
Law,
allowed in the
that's
car.
me.
Yeah, well, I mean, you went to the store.
Oh, well, the soda pop?
Yes.
You need more soda pop in your life?
I don't know.
Come on.
Well, he needs more Blue Island Beer Company soda pop.
Yeah.
Come on. All right. If you're watching on Facebook Live, if you're listening on Con Carne, Simeon says, "Love you, Doug. Love you."
Love you too, buddy.
Happy Valentine's Day. Please tell a friend, Con Carne. We do this every week. Next week on the show, AM Taxi performing live in the car, which will be super
Wow,
fun.
they're actually somebody's.
They're so good.
We're going to Lou Malnati's with AM Taxi. They're going to plug in and do what they do inside a Mazda.
Nice.
It's fantastic. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Tall Doug. Thank you, Alan of Blue Island Beer Company. And we'll
Cheers.
do this again soon.
yes.
Con Carne presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston.